Welcome to the third instalment in the CloudActiv portal mini-series. In the previous tutorial, we looked at how to deploy and configure a virtual machine from a template. In this tutorial, we are going to look at how to configure your cloud data center's edge gateway for external connectivity. First, head over to the Cloud Portal interface and log in using your credentials. Once logged in, click Edge Gateways on the left. An edge gateway is your cloud data center's virtual router, providing firewalling, NAT, VPNs, and other functionality. Click on the edge gateway name and then click Services. We'll start with configuring outbound connectivity for the VM we deployed in the previous tutorial. There are two stages to enabling outbound connectivity: firewall access and network address translation rules. To enable outbound connectivity in the firewall, click on the Firewall tab and then click the plus icon. We'll give the rule a name of Allow Outbound Traffic. For the source, we could enter the IP of the VM or the network range. If you click the plus icon, we'll see other options such as the gateway interfaces, a VM name, and some other options that are beyond the scope of this tutorial. We'll select Gateway Interface and then click on the demo network and click on the right arrow. By selecting the demo network, this will allow outbound traffic for all VMs on this network. Then click Keep. For the destination, we'll select the Edge Gateway's external interface and then to save the rule, click Save Changes. To configure NAT rules, click on the NAT tab. The Edge Gateway supports IPv4, but IPv6 is only partially implemented at this time. There are two types of NAT rules: SNAT, or Source NAT, which is for outbound traffic, and DNAT, or Destination NAT, which is for inbound traffic. We will be looking at outbound traffic, so click on the plus SNAT rule button. The majority of rules will be applied on the external network, so we'll select the external network. The original source IP address range is the IP address of the VM or the network. If we go back to the portal interface and click on Org Networks, we can see the network address 192.168.10.0/24, or if you click on Virtual Servers, you can see the server's IP address of 192.168.10.2. So back in the Edge Gateway tab, and we will enter the organization's network IP address range of 192.168.10.0/24. The translated source IP range is the IP that the VM will use when connecting to external networks such as the internet. To find your external IP, go back to the Portal Interface tab and click Edge Gateways. You can then see the external IP of the Edge Gateway, 212.84.90.135. Additional IP addresses can be added. please contact your account manager or our support team for more information on this. Back in the Edge Gateway tab, enter the external IP address in the field. And click Keep, and then click Save. We can then test external connectivity by going to the VM's console. By pinging a well-known server, and we receive a reply. We can also verify that the server is on that external IP address we set. You can see that. The next stage is to enable inbound connectivity. Back on the Edge Gateway tab, click on the DNAT rule button. And DNATs differ from SNATs as you can specify certain ports to forward to a VM. In this example, we'll enable access for SSH on port 22. So in the original IP range field, we enter the external IP address. Then we select a protocol. If any is selected, this will forward all ports to the VM. In this example, we'll just select TCP. In the original port, we will enter 22. If you wanted to access SSH on a different port without reconfiguring the server, you could enter any valid port number here. In the translated IP range, we'll enter the server's internal IP address. The translated port is the port the service runs on the server. In this case, it's port 22. Then click Keep and click Save Changes. Next, we'll configure the firewall. So click on the Firewall tab and then click the plus icon. We'll give the rule a name of Allow SSH Inbound. Then in the source, if you wanted to limit SSH to certain IP addresses, you could enter that here. We'll leave it as any in this tutorial. In the destination, we'll enter the external IP that we're going to. Click Keep, and then in the service column, click the plus icon. Set the protocol as TCP. As we're accessing a service that runs within the network, the source port will be set to any and the destination port will be set to 22. And then click Save Changes. We can then test inbound connectivity by SSHing to the server. Open an SSH client and then SSH to the external IP address. So that's how to configure basic external connectivity on a VM. Now we'll just quickly cover some of the other features that an Edge Gateway can provide. Go back to the Edge Gateway tab. If we click on DHCP, Although it may not be necessary in most server environments, the Edge Gateway can provide the HTTP. This is easy to configure simply by enabling the service and configuring the necessary network details. Routing. The Edge Gateway offers the ability to add routing options. Usually there is only one uplink, so this is unnecessary in most environments. It can also provide load balancing functionality. And the Edge Gateway can provide a few different types of VPNs, the main two being IPsec for site-to-site connectivity and an SSL VPN, which is usually used for client-to-site connectivity, such as remote workers. The load balancing and VPN setup can be a little more complicated, and we might cover these in a future tutorial. But if you would like any advice or help configuring these, please contact our support team. Some other functionality the Edge Gateway offers is the ability to upload certificates, which can be used on certain features such as load balancing or the SSL VPN portal. Grouping objects allows you to create groups of objects that can be used in the firewall to simplify rules. IP and MAC address groups can both be created, and you can view existing services and service groups. In statistics, you can view statistics such as concurrent connections or IP VPN statuses. And finally, in the Edge settings, you can configure custom Syslog servers if external logging is required. That concludes this tutorial on how to configure Edge Gateway services. I hope you have found it useful, and stay tuned for further videos in the CloudActiv portal mini-series.